And today we're going to discuss the thought record. The thought record is a worksheet where you can list specific skills that you can help to improve your mood. So today we're going to start with the first half of the thought record. So I'm just going to explain it to you really quick.
Okay.
So the thought record starts with number 1, the situation.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is pick out a situation that happened to you this week that made you feel anxious. The second one is your mood. So going through the situation, you're going to identify your moods, how it made you feel, and then rate the mood on the rating scale that we discussed at the beginning of the session. And then the third column is automatic thoughts.
Okay.
So what was going through your mind during this situation, any other thoughts, images, anything like how you felt after the situation. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first column is situation, like we discussed, and it goes through who, what, when, and where. So if you'd like to think about a situation this week that made you feel anxious, and kind of just, we're going to limit the situation, so describe the who, what, when, where. And then after that, we're going to describe your mood and see how we could have maybe improve it in the future.
Okay. Well, I was at work, so another one at work, and my coworkers were not working like the way they were supposed to, I guess. Because like I do camps and stuff like that, and my coworkers were just sitting in the corner while I was sitting there doing like handling all the kids and things. And when they do that, like they're supposed to be like engaged with the kids all the time. But even though I'm the one working and they're the ones on like their phones and stuff, I could get in trouble also, even though I tell them to help me. So that made me feel a little anxious, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that situation, we're gonna go through the who, what, when, where. So I heard the who is your coworkers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and your coworkers weren't working.
Yeah, they weren't working the way they were supposed to.
Okay, and so you were just there working harder, and they weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay, and that made you feel anxious because you could get in trouble. Okay. And so now we're gonna move on to the mood. The what did you feel? So you said you felt anxious. Did you have any other thoughts, any other feelings during that time?
No, I was pretty mad and frustrated because, like, one, like I said, I can get in trouble, and two, like, I kept telling them to help me out, and they just weren't doing it.
Okay. So mad, frustrated, and anxious. During this time, did you confront anyone, your coworkers, your boss, anybody?
I did talk to my boss, and she didn't really do anything, which is frustrating because, like, even though she doesn't do anything, I can still get in trouble when she sees my coworkers not working, even though I told her about it. So yeah, that's frustrating.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound like a frustrating situation. So on the scale earlier that we discussed, the 0 to 100, what would you rate your mood during that time? The anxious, as well as the frustrated?
So like the 0 was like none at all, and then the 100 was a lot of it, right?
Yes, 100 was the most.
Yeah, for anxiety, it was probably at like a 85-ish, like a 90. So it was really high. And then frustration was at like a 90 as well. It was really high also.
Okay. And then, did you do anything during this time to, like, reduce your anxiety? So maybe some breathing, any other coping strategies?
Well, like, I tried to step outside just for a little bit, just to get away. Excuse me. I tried to step outside for a little bit just to get away. And, like, I couldn't really for that long because I stepped outside and then the counselors were just by themselves on their phones and stuff, and the kids were by themselves not being watched. So, yeah, I had to go back inside really quick.
Okay. So yeah, that definitely sounds like it was a frustrating and anxious situation. During this time, did you have any other thoughts, any other feelings? How did you feel when you talked to your boss?
Well, I felt frustrated when I talked to her also because, like, she wasn't doing anything about it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely talk about, for this following week, what you can do at work to reduce your anxiety, as well as the frustration.
Okay.
With your coworkers, does that happen often?
Yeah, it happened a few times this week, and it happened like once or twice last week. So it seems like it's getting more like common, I guess.
Okay. And do you feel like maybe talking to them one-on-one would make it better? What do you think would help them?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if I go to like my boss's boss or something like that, it might help. Because like if I talk to them one-on-one, they're still just gonna do it. Probably.
Okay. So do you think talking to your boss's boss this week would be a good idea?
Yeah, probably.
Would that help to reduce your anxiety and frustration at work?
Yeah, because like if he knows about it, then like that would be good.
Okay. So yeah, that definitely sounds like a good idea. Do you feel comfortable doing that this week?
Yeah, I think so. Next time I'm working in the camp, I can do it.
Okay. So for the following session, we're gonna, is there anything else you'd like to maybe work on this week to reduce your anxiety or improve your sleep?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So thank you so much for coming in today, Stephen. For the following session, we're gonna discuss going to your boss's boss and see how that works out. And keep going through the thought record. I can give you a copy of that today. So if any other situations come up this week that make you anxious or frustrated, you can go through that thought record again and just begin to identify your thoughts and your feelings to reduce your anxiety.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in today, Stephen, and I'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.